Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Megan.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Matt.
I'm Grammy.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Aunt Becky.
I'm Daniel.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys. And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. We have got a busy week on our hands. Well, I don't know if busy week would be the right words to use. We are going to be closing down the later part of the week, but for the beginning half, oh, it's going to be crazy. Starting yesterday, we had a big day on the farm. Pretty major holiday around these parts coming up later in the week, and that makes us really busy. We're busy for numerous reasons. We've got the farm market that we're trying to take care of. That's probably the biggest thing. With everything going on, this place is going to be a madhouse. And in part of it being so busy, we had to rearrange the cooler around. We've got a whole bunch of turkeys and chickens over here. Not only do we have turkeys and chickens, but Grammy and all the other girls have been working really hard at getting the baked goods all prepared that have been ordered. So Grammy's got, these are all pie shells. So that just gives you an understanding of how much she's got going on. There's like 10 pie shells in each one of those bags. They've already started moving stuff into here. And not only do we have all that over here, but all these cookies. And we have breads and cakes, and then in here, look at all these pumpkin pies. So we have the cooler, we have all the stuff out on the tables, and then this whole back area where the girls normally bag up all the bulk goods, this is going to be filled with pies, cakes, breads, cookies, basically any orders that we have. So partially because of the turkeys and chickens, partially because of the baking, and partially because of everything else that people need for their family dinners coming up, yeah, place is gonna be a little wild. And let's see over here. Megan, how's that horseradish? Is it strong?
It's strong.
Oh, good, we made that. That's some spicy stuff, and let me tell you, it will clear out the nostrils. Now, it's not only the girls in the kitchen this morning, we've got Daniel in here, and what have you been doing?
I just peel apples all day.
That looks like it. It looks like you got a lot of apples to peel.
This is just the start of it.
Something we have to keep in mind is we need to be around the farm all day to help. It's gonna be very busy. Not only is it gonna be busy, but they're gonna need help carrying stuff out. So we're gonna have to be here. Another thing is, we don't wanna get in the girls' way today. The girls have got a lot of work, so we're gonna try and be helpful, but we're also gonna try and not get in the way. It's a fine line that you gotta follow. We've discovered what it is over the years. Kinda. But yeah, we're gonna try and help out as much as we can today. And not only are we gonna try and help out, we've also got other chores to take care of. So farm market's all set up, farm market's all taken care of. We don't open for another hour here, but yeah, that doesn't seem to matter. You're gonna have customers showing up early anyway. But it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a difficult day, but it's gonna be a good day. Not only are we going to be doing a lot of baking this week, but a lot of customers are too, which is why we need all these apples filled up. All different types of apples ready for the customer.
Thinking.
Well, what are you thinking about this morning?
Making sure we have enough stuff here for the holiday. Everybody keeps coming in.
Not only do we have our customers we're thinking about, but we have a lot of restaurants that are placing orders. Restaurants need potatoes, they need sweet potatoes, peppers, lettuce, they need a lot of stuff. So trying to keep all that on your mind is kind of difficult. The farm market is all taken care of, which brings us down around back. There's a cow out. The cow's always out. We've got to get the animals all taken care of this morning. Right now, Matthew is up top on our bin, just checking on everything, making sure our stir is working correctly. We've been running heat into our bin just to make sure that everything is drying down correctly. There is a chance of rain and snow this morning, so if that starts, we're gonna have to close up the bin. For now, we're keeping it open to blow all that moisture out. Before we start feeding, we do have to work on something right over here. We want to take these feeders and move them underneath the roof so we don't have to worry about the feed getting destroyed from the weather. And because we want to move it under the roof, that means we gotta fix this over here so no cattle escape. Like this one here, who just has a mind of their own. Get back in the pen. I don't know, Dad, what do you think of all this fill? It's doing a really good job.
Yeah, it seems to be working nice. We want to move them feeders that are outside under the roof here because we're getting quite a bit of rain.
And as I mentioned, that would probably destroy the feed, and we don't want that to happen. So we're gonna get all this cleaned up, we're gonna get it all fixed up, and then those feeders put in place. You get that out there?
Yep, someone has to hold the thing.
It's a little cold. Who put that in there? There we go.
Well, I was worried if I pulled too hard, it would, you know, probably all flip right out of there, and then we'd have a mess to clean up. Daisy, get out of the dang feeder.
There we go, looks good. Some of you may have remembered in the past us talking about wanting to put in permanent feeders. That is still the plan. They're going to be concrete, but for now, it's just not a good time to get that done. We have a lot going on in these later months. For now, these plastic feeders that we have, they'll work just fine. It'll make everything all good. But once we put in the permanent feeders, that's gonna cut down on a lot of waste. The concrete ones that we wanna put in, it's just, we're not set up for it just yet, but in the near future. And that is looking a lot better. These two feeders are now under roof, which will help out a lot. And hopefully we won't waste as much feed as we were before. It was nicer having them out there throughout summertime and into fall, but as it starts to get sloppier, we're gonna want them under roof. I think it's cold enough now to start thinking about putting the door back on. It's not feeding time just yet. We wanna grab a little bit of bedding for the calves, and then we might bed up these other pens too. It all depends on what Dad wants to do. We just went through and quickly put bedding in for the cattle. Now we made sure to really pack the bedding down because we've got a cold front coming through. We're expecting rain today, and the temperature is gonna really drop as we move into the later part of the week and the weekend. So we made sure to add plenty of bedding so that the cattle could stay nice and comfy, not only for the calves in greenhouse number 5, but for the pastured cattle, and then the pen of cattle that we have right here. Normally we just go over the top with a light dusting just to keep everything dry. That helps to keep the cattle healthy. However, because it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be wet, we really pack the bedding in. We're not done with the skid steer loader just yet, though. We need to grab silage for the cattle, which I'm going to do right now. While I was grabbing that silage, Matthew is dumping grain in for the cattle, and he's just about finished. Adding those head gates in the back has helped us out tremendously. It makes sure that everybody has enough space for grabbing silage and grain. As long as all the cattle are getting plenty to eat and everybody looks healthy, I'm happy. The only thing left to take care of is the chickens, but before we do that, I want to run up top and see how busy the farm market is. 1, 2, 3, Only 4 cars. Doesn't look too bad. But you never know. Customers come in waves, and I'm sure the girls have been swamped this morning. It looks like chickens have already been fed, and there are no eggs in the nest. So I think Dad did that while I was grabbing silage. If you have animals, one of the most important things you can do every day is check to make sure that everybody has water. Now, thankfully, we have automatic water bowls for all of the pens. So in the chickens, they're little hanging water bowls, automatic. And then we have these 2 waters for the cattle. They're these blue things inside the pen. Now, if it falls below a certain level, it just fills back up. And thankfully, these don't freeze for us. I mean, we've had it happen a few times, but if it is gonna get really, really, really cold, we can open up the bottom and put a heater in there. When everything is on an automatic water bowl, makes life a lot easier. You still have to check everything. We still have to check them, make sure everybody's okay, but it just makes things so much easier. Now look what Grammy is pulling out of the oven. Look at those fresh apple pies. Oh boy, and then over here in the oven, what do you got in there?
I don't even know.
Oh, there's so much. Ooh, I'll get out of the way. What did I say this morning? You want to be helpful, but you also don't want to be in the way, especially when there's pies flying around. It is starting to sprinkle out here. Nothing too major. We've still got customers pulling in and out, which is a good thing. We need to get all those turkeys and all those pies moved. Dad and I are going for a little drive. We're going to a wholesaler and pick up some things that we ordered this morning. There's a few restaurants that needed things. We had a few customers who wanted specialized orders. So Dad and I are going to be taking a little ride out there. I think I see alligators down in that water, Dad.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? You used to always tell me there was alligators down there when I was a kid.
That's because you were young and foolish.
Give me my horseradish.
Oh my goodness. I have it set aside.
Dad's in trouble. He forgot their horseradish.
I want to watch guys work.
You want to watch guys work?
I want to watch guys work.
You're in the right spot then. We got all the produce loaded up, I think. Sounds like that's Icy Rain. The place that we pick up all our produce is called Briar Creek. They take good care of us. There's a guy here named DJ. DJ's the man. But now that we've got everything loaded up, we're gonna be on our way home. Dad and I just made it back home. It looks like we got customers here in the parking lot. I'm sure the girls have been plenty busy. Now all we have to do is get everything pulled out of the vehicle and into the farm. It is getting chillier out here. It feels cold. With the rain that we had gotten, it makes everything feel really damp outside, which adds to the cold. So I think if it wasn't raining today, it wouldn't feel as bad, but this damp weather, it's not fun to be in. For lunch today, it looks like we are having pork barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, and we also got some macaroni salad. Now that we are all finished with lunch, we got everything cleaned up here. The girls need help peeling apples. We've got all different types of apple pies to make. They're gonna be doing a lot of pumpkin later on, but for now, we're just getting started with apples. So I'm gonna help Dad peel and slice all of these. This is where I'm gonna be for a while, just doing apples. We'll take breaks here and there because the winding arm gets tired, but the amount of apples that we need is kind of crazy. So you have someone running this thing basically all day this time of year. What'd you play?
Pictionary.
Ooh.
I love Pictionary. I hate this game.
You hate Pictionary? Really?
I'm not an artist. I can't draw.
You can make pies.
That isn't part of the game.
Aunt Rhonda and I just got another bushel of apples all peeled. So Dad and Grammy are both making apple pies. We're just gonna try and keep them all stocked. Daniel has bringing me apples from the cooler, and let me tell you, the weather has not gotten any nicer out. It is yucky. Cold, windy, and rainy. So a little bit of an update for you. We've already gone through another crate of apples. They just need more apples. Not much has changed. Grammy's moved on to orchard pies. Dad is still working on apple. The girls are going back and through, taking pies out to people. Not too much will change. We eventually will be switching over to pumpkin, but that will be a little later on. For right now, it's just gonna be peeling apples for me. which I'm not too upset about. I don't mind doing this. And for those of you asking why we don't have an automatic one or an electric one, I don't know. But I know we don't do this as much as we used to, so I probably wouldn't warrant buying it. We will keep doing it this way for now. And here we have Grammy adding the last of the egg wash to the apple pies. Apple pies are done. Well, not yet, we gotta bake it yet. But once we are finished, well, now that we're finished with apple, we're gonna get everything cleaned up and moving on to pumpkin. We've got a little change of scenery. We are down around back. We have no eggs, so we've got to grade eggs. And another thing was we brought down all our apple slices. You know who loves pie season more than anybody? The cattle. Yeah, the cattle's are gonna be getting some apples. But first, Dad and I are gonna grade eggs, and then we'll get the animals taken care of for the night. Now we get a lot of questions about this machine. It is literally just an egg grater. But the thing that's really cool about it is each section is controlled by a different set of weights. So we have those weights set up for jumbo, extra large, large, medium, small, so that all of our eggs can be graded correctly. Now this machine is very old. Dad has had it for a long time. As a matter of fact, my dad's grandfather bought this. So that is pretty cool. And it's still in use today. The only thing we've ever had to do is put a new motor on it because the old motor, well, yeah, stopped working, unfortunately. But the new motor works great. And let me tell you, the eggs, they are always the perfect weights, so we know this grater is doing its job. Oh yeah, nice and sloppy out. Guess what, guys? I got apples. Just because it's not nice out, we're gonna have a quick look at all the cattle. They're all excited about these apples. So I'm gonna give them the apples in 1 second. I'm gonna go grab the grain, then we'll feed everybody. We normally don't feed much grain at night to encourage them to go out and eat grass, but I don't think they're gonna be leaving today. That's what we like to see. Everybody's up, everybody's eating. Here you go, apple spaghetti. I'm gonna try and share this among all the cattle. Not easy. Cattle are all fed and taken care of. Now we're just heading over to the calves to make sure Dad's all good. I just want to look for myself. Yep, all the cattle are all bed up. That looks good to me. Looks good. Being out in this is not fun. When there's work to be done, there's work to be done. We're just making sure everything is held down. I don't know if it's gonna get worse as the night goes on, but we don't want any of our doors flopping. And I don't think the cattle are gonna leave. I wouldn't go anywhere. I would sit in the nice bedding and stay warm, but you never know. Let's see what we've got going on over here. It looks like everybody is loading the oven with pumpkin pies. Look at all those pies. And while they're doing that, Grammy is over here mixing the batter. So it's just loading ovens, unloading ovens now. An entire new batch of pumpkin has just gone into the oven. These are the pies that were just pulled out. And it's kind of hard to see in there, but it is as full as it gets. And then once the pumpkin comes out of the oven, we give it some time to cool, and then they're gonna all be moved into the cooler. So yeah, tomorrow is gonna be nuts. It's, whew, I'm not ready for tomorrow, but it is what it is. So everybody, nothing is gonna change except for the fact that we're gonna be baking pies. For dinner, we got some beef and potato stew. What? And yeah, everybody's eating dinner, getting ready to be done for the night. We got a few more pies that are gonna need to go in here, and then we are good to go. Oh my word, it is so bad out here. Thankfully, Dad has let me take the truck home. I brought the side-by-side to work this morning. That'd be fun to drive home in this, wouldn't it? Aye, aye. Well, everyone, we are now home having some dinner here. Yeah, but since we're home, that means this is where we're gonna end the video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.